Hello everybody and welcome to Jackie Kirby Art, and this week we're going to be looking at transparent and opaque watercolours. Now if you're using a branded make of watercolours such as Winsor & Newton, you should be able to clearly see on their paint tubes or pans whether the colour that you're going to be wanting to use is transparent or opaque or semi-transparent or semi-opaque. If you've got some of the older tubes, I don't think it's on all of them, so you can go onto their website and they have colour charts which tell you which colours are transparent and which aren't. It also tells you about staining colours and non-staining and other characteristics of the paint. Now that's all well and good, but as beginners, I know a lot of beginners shy away from purchasing artist quality paints because of the cost, which is a shame, because if you learn to paint watercolours with artist quality paints, you're getting that saturation of colour, and you're getting all that information, that technical information on the paint. So as you're learning to master watercolours, it makes it so much easier. But a lot of beginners tend to have these non-branded beginners watercolour boxes that they've had given to them as presents, or they've bought at a sale, etc. And it's not always clear which colours that you've got are transparent and which aren't. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a really quick little test that you can do to see which of your watercolours are transparent, because you need to maximise your transparent colours as much as possible, and as time goes on in your learning process with learning to paint in watercolours, you will appreciate that more. But if I'll just demonstrate to you now how you can differentiate between the two. So I've got 3 transparent and 3 opaque different colours of paint. They're Winsor & Newton, they're artist quality. I've purposely double checked on Winsor & Newton's website to make sure that I'm picking the right transparent colours and right opaque colours to do the demonstration. So we've got, in the transparent range, we've got Permanent Rose, we've got Aureolin, and we've got Quinacridone Gold. And in the opaque watercolours, we've got Venetian Red, Naples Yellow and Oxide of Chromium. Now I've tried specifically to get very opaque to show you in this demonstration the absolute opposite of each other. You can get some colours that lie a little bit in between, and sometimes they're a little bit more difficult to tell whether they are semi-opaque or not. But if you do this test and use your test paper for your work, then you're not going to go far wrong. So the first thing you need to do is obviously mix up some paint, and you're going to need one of these permanent markers. You get them in different shapes and sizes, but any will do. And if we're just going to put ourselves to reasonable lines down so that you can see what I'm doing. Right, so it should be dry. I'm going to pick up some of the Permanent Rose, and I've mixed all these paints the same consistency. I've not done any thicker to make sure we get a good comparison. So the first one being Permanent Rose, beautiful colour, and you can see straight away that dark line just shows straight through, so that is definitely a transparent colour, Permanent Rose. Next one is areolin. Beautiful yellow. And again, that black line shows straight through, and so that is definitely transparent. The next one's a beautiful colour, Quinacridone Gold. Love it for flower painting. And again, that's a lovely transparent watercolour. Right, on to the opaques. First one is Venetian Red. And you can see the difference straight away. See how that colour's sitting and covering a large portion of that permanent marker. Next one is your Naples Yellow. And again, very opaque, covering that permanent marker. And finally, Oxide of Chromium, another very strong colour. And that's really opaque, that's really covering. So it's a simple test. Do it with all your watercolours that you have. If they're non-branded especially, get to know them, because you need to maximise the transparency of the transparent watercolours in your work if you're going to move your work forward. Now what I'll do now is I will put down some transparent colour, let that dry, and then we'll see what happens if we put an opaque colour over the top. So we've got some permanent rose there. And let's do some areolin as well. Okay, so we'll let those dry and we'll come back to those in a minute. Okay, so these two colours are dry now, and we'll put some opaque colour over the top of one of them to see what happens, and then put another transparent colour over the other to see what you can see through those then. So this is Naples Yellow. I'm going to put some Naples Yellow on top of the permanent rose. Now you can see that whilst you can still see that permanent rose, it's really has obliterated that lovely transparent colour. It's lost it, which is why I talked about maximising on your transparent pigments, and to show you the difference, if I put now a permanent rose over the top of this here, now you should be able to see that whilst that has covered that pretty well, you can still see, as that dries, you can still see that underlying colour, that transparent colour shining through. Whereas on this one, that Naples Yellow has really covered totally that permanent rose there. So I suggest that you get your paint box out, you run these little tests. Have a go at putting some of your opaques over your transparents and vice versa and see what effects it have. It's far better if you learn on scrap paper or in a little book like this that you can keep and keep referring to, and that way you won't spoil so many of your attempts at producing some lovely watercolours.